Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Saif I'm talking from Doha now. I'm based in Doha, the Arab Center for Research and Policy Studies. And let me state first that this is a complete paper I'm still working on. And I'm trying here to examine the determinants of the radicalization and the de-radicalization factors inside the Egyptian presence. And I'm trying to say what makes the people radical and what makes them de-radicalized in the Egyptian presence. So first of all, I have to introduce the phenomena, or to say that Egyptian prisons after 2013 are full of political prisoners, which is something that didn't happen like this with this amount of prisoners before. And here we have to raise the question, who exactly got detained? And to answer this question, I have to say that most of the detainees are coming from Islamic backgrounds, and the detaining process is different from one to another. So it is like, and here the radicalization process is starting from the investigating in the police department or the police station. Like, let's clarify some numbers here. We have from 40 to 65,000 political prisoners. Mostly are coming from Islamic backgrounds, and most of them are youth. This is there's no like an official statistic about this, but this is based on the interviews and the observation, especially my own observation on the like it came out from an experience and so on. And through the case of the detainees' messages, I'm trying here to examine the determinants of the radicalization and the de-radicalization. So we have here two indicators or two cases. Through them, I will state how the prisoner can be radicalized or de-radicalized. So the first one is the detainees' messages, something or the phenomena appeared in August 2019 in Tora prison. And the other thing, or the other tool, is the semi-structured interviews with, like it's an ongoing process. So I'm still doing some interviews with the ex-prisoners. But now, until now, I made up to 25 interviews with them. So this is here like an introduction of what I'm going to do, but this paper is seeking to provide an interpretive approach. We can understand the influence of the presence on ideas, beliefs, political orientations, and as well as the role of the personal experience inside the present. I'm trying here to say that presents are not formulated to make the prisoner on one direction radicalized or de-radicalized. So there are some determinants, there are some factors, there are, and here I think this is my theoretical contribution on this paper, that not every Islamic prisoner should be radicalized, and not every Islamic prisoner should be de-radicalized. It's different from one to one. So the messages of the detainees here was something movements formulated inside the Egyptian prison, and it was here to say that we are a new wave of Islamic youth, and we are here to say that we don't want to be radicalized, and we are seeking the de-radicalization of the Islamic youth inside the presence. So this movement like it appeared from inside various presence, not just one person, not just Torah person, not just a person in the north or the south. So it was geographically non-stated in one city. So you cannot say it's an urban movement or rural movement. It's something appeared in the center of the state, like Cairo, or appeared in the north or in the south. So this here stating that it represents the old youth or the majority of the Islamic youth inside the Egyptian present. First message, I will go through this phenomena, but I'm just trying here to mention it in the beginning, and let's go for the next slide here. Theoretically, I'm based on the main contribution on President Michelle Foucault, the discipline and punishment. And here I'm trying to subtract from this that it deconstructs the present interaction from inside. So through the punishment and the discipline, Michelle Foucault here is trying to say that there is a penal system is designed to affect on the president, but I'm here trying to say that this is this makes the president as paralyzed, and he cannot take an action back to this system. Through the Egyptian case here, I'm trying to examine this happened already. The president tried to resist this penal system, and they were classified into two groups: people who got radicalized and people who got de-radicalized. And also Anthony Gramsci, the other one is Omar Ashura, and his fascinating contribution on the de-radicalization of the Islamic movement. So I'm trying here to say, and I'm trying just to give the summary of what I'm working on, that the radicalization and the de-radicalization process is a continuous process inside the Egyptian present, based on many variables that drive the present to adapt this, to adapt the radicalization or to adapt the de-radicalization. First is the freedom opportunity closing. So if the president, the Islamic president here, say, is seeking or facing assumed freedom or assumed release or an opportunity, the peaceful solution or the peaceful resisting to the regime is the only solution, and they're quoting Muhammad Badia's main thing in Rabaa, that our revolution is peaceful and it will remain peaceful, and our peaceful way is stronger than the bullets. So the third one here, or the third variable, is the degree of repression. Some prisoners are facing brutally torture, and it can reach raping. And we have a fascinating report coming out from Freedom Initiative, and it documented more than 600 cases. They got raped or they got sexually harassed inside the prison. Some of them are males and some are females, or the majority were males. So the degree of repression here, it states your choice, whether you will go to the radicalization or you will get de-radicalized inside the prison. So here, like I said this before, here's this is a very important thing for me, that the radicalization in Egypt after 2013. And it's not only monopolized in the present. So it started outside the present after the military coup, especially among the students part in Islamic movements. And I made my dissertation about the student activism. So through some interviews also, the people, when they found out that we cannot demonstrate anymore inside the campus, they started to think about any other solution. So the radical solutions were the resistant solution to the Egyptian regime were the only vision they saw. So they were seeking to defeat the state-backed repression through this. And the radicalization also wave in Egypt after 2013, it was not only started in the present, but I can say it began with an obvious, like obviously it began outside the present. Through what they call the army qualitative work. I don't know if this is qualitative work, if this is a right translation of العمل النوعي المسلح or something where other stuff is the right way. So the debate started, but it was settled in favor of the party that adapted the peaceful resistance to the military regime in Egypt. So the Muslim Brotherhood, they were divided between two people or two organizations or two groups. Some of them they favored the resistance, the radical resistance to the state repression, and the other people no, they say that it can open a non-end radicalization of many components of the Islamic movement at all. So we have to defeat this, and I think they succeeded in this. So this conflict was taken to the present because most of the people who adopted this, they were imprisoned or shot to death. So these prisoners were brutally tortured, and many of them were shot to death. So, and since 2015, it was clear inside the present that the intellectual discussions between the people who adopted the radical solution and the people who like didn't like this, or the people who adopted the peaceful solutions. It started, and sometimes it could reach to fights inside the prison. I still remember some fights I've seen inside the Egyptian prisons in Egypt. I'm not taking so long here because I think I passed my time. The detainees messages, which is the second thing here, is like I said it started to spread in August of 2019 from a group of the prisoners. They said that we have exceeded 3,000 prisoners of Islamic youth inside the prison. They call themselves the youth of political detainees, something very general, شباب المعتقلين السياسيين, and they didn't mention any of their leaders. They remained anonymous to the public. They were a movement with no head, with no leader to speak to, and they started to state the public about their ideas, about their warning to the public and to the regime and to the Muslim Brotherhood. Here's a sample, by the way, of this message. This was the first one released in August 2019, and they started to warn the public sphere about the spread of the radicalism inside the prison. They had clashes with the Ikhwani leaders outside Egypt. Some of the leaders say that they are backed by the regime, and we cannot deal with them seriously because we don't know who are they. And most of them they got expelled, were expelled from the Jama'ah, from the group. So they were not taken from the regime, nor from the Muslim Brotherhood, nor from the public or from the secular components of the political powers in Egypt seriously, because they had no famous political prisoners or something like this. The third message here, this is a sample of the third message. It was sent to Sheikh Al-Azhar and the other political actors or social actors in Egypt, and they said that you have to rescue us, you have to rescue your youth, you have to rescue the majority of the prisoners from the danger of extremism, from the danger of adapting the radical way or the radical ideology. Sometimes they call this ideology inside the prison because it spreads like a fire. So here I finished my presentation on this, but I summarized my contribution here and this thing, that the radicalization or the de-radicalization things or the trends were adaptation of the two or of radicalization or de-radicalization. So the present happens through three variables: the freedom, opportunity, closing, and the intellectual scramble, whether with moderates or Daesh people or the extreme and the extremists, and the digression of the repression. So and here my presentation came to an end, and thank you so much for your invitation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Saif. I'm sure that a lot of us will have a lot of questions for you. I think what's very fascinating about your presentation is that you're talking about radicalization and de-radicalization beyond state initiatives. So we're not really discussing state-sponsored de-radicalization for a particular goal, but rather people, a grassroots movement within the prisons, people who are deemed to be terrorists themselves for being politically engaged, being involved in these de-radicalization projects.